Maher drops a story on Cheryl Hines that the left-wing media just doesn't want to hear, specifically a tale about President Donald Trump. Folks, it's, a lot of people kind of forget it, I think, as it happened so quickly, but RFK Jr. and his wife were Democrats for basically their whole lives. Maybe they're still registered that way. I don't know, so I'm not going to pine on that. But the point is that they are now aligned with the Trump administration, at least in some senses, with what they're promoting. And leftists just hate it. They cannot tolerate people from their own side who defect, even if just a little bit, while still having those liberal values. So that'll be discussed more in a second. You'll see what I mean. But first, do me a big favor by liking our video and also sharing it around. That way we can keep bringing you guys this great, hard-hitting content. As always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Somebody was just asking me about when I met him, what surprised me the most. And I said, I was surprised that he really likes to listen to people. He's very curious in what you have to say.
They hated when I said that. Again, because I'm just telling you what happened. What, should I lie?
I guess so. I guess
right.
That's
He
what they
kicked
want.
me in the balls under the table. And then
I knew he would.
He threw the spaghetti against the wall when I raised the subject of tariffs. No. No.
Yeah, he listened.
I think he actually wants more people around him for a stimulating conversation.
Yeah.
I was very surprised at, and mentioned it, again, they hated me for it, that as opposed to so many important people I've met who, when you talk to them, you don't feel like they're really listening. They're kind of like, you know what I mean? And then when they answer you, it doesn't quite track, They're
just waiting for their turn to talk.
Yes, or they're just on a different level. I mean, these are show people, too. I've had that. But I didn't get that with him at all.
No.
I got a guy who looked in my eye, was listening to what I said, waited until I finished, even when it was contradictory, when it was he never got blustery or mad about it. He said some things that I don't agree with and some things that I think are just, plainly not right, like, third term. Yeah, I think you could do it. I'm having people look into it. No, you can't do it. and you can have people look into it from now until the end of time. It's like 12 words in the Constitution. You can't do it. But he didn't get mad.
Right.
Honestly, none of this is really surprising to me. It's been known for a long time now that Trump is a very magnanimous guy when he meets people, even if he considers them rivals. And his general disposition is friendly. That's usually his default with people, whether he likes them, doesn't like them, has a neutral opinion of them, doesn't know them at all, whatever. He's very friendly. He's very charismatic. People who have met him personally have affirmed this time and time again, repeatedly. He's also really kind to regular people, service people too, who maybe aren't considered as high status as him, for lack of a better word. For instance, valets will regularly say that he'll tip them a lot of money. He'll be really cool. He'll ask them how their day was going. He doesn't have to do that. A lot of rich and famous people don't do that. They act like, let's just say they let the money and the fame get to their head. Not Trump. Remember Trump's McDonald's shtick, where he went and posed as a McDonald's worker, worked as one, joined them? That was awesome, all right? I don't think Hillary Clinton would pull that off, nor would Kamala. Even Joe Biden, who, for all his faults, is a bit more charismatic than most of his other Democrat friends, I don't think even he would do it. He would look out of touch and ridiculous and probably forget where he is, the poor guy. But that's a whole other thing.
And then I also made the point that, I went home that night and I was getting into bed in 60 Minutes. I taped it. And there he is on 60 Minutes, and he's like ranting and raving. I'm like, who's this guy? This is not the guy I met.
Yeah.
And so I'm just the reporter here. I'm just telling you.
This was my experience.
If this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, find a way to work with Dr. Jekyll.
And that's not even the only good thing that Maher had to say about Trump. And let's remind ourselves here. This guy usually has Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. He can't stand the guy. He goes nuts. But amazingly, he's actually pretty chill about Trump in this episode. Take a look at what he has to say about Trump's policies in regards to war.
One good thing about Trump, he really, really does not like war.
Which I love that about him.
I kind of do, because I don't want war either, and most of them are unnecessary.
Agreed.
I mean, he took a long time when I had that dinner with him talking about the pictures he sees coming from Ukraine, the stuff that doesn't get out on the news. It's like raw footage of bodies in the field.
Yes.
And you could tell it really moved him.
It
He's
does.
like, I do not want to see this. and I'm kind of guy who can fix this. At least, you know, he's never not going to be Trump. So of course he's like, I solved 9 wars. And, you know, okay, even if it's half that, it's still good that we're solving them and not starting them.
That's the thing that I find that I really like about President Trump when he talks about wars and talks about Ukraine. And he talks about Ukraine and Russia, and he will say they're losing people on both sides, and it's not just Ukraine is losing people. It's not just Russia is losing people. He sees like both sides. This is a true loss for both sides, and you can feel it from him when he talks about that loss. I mean, I do.
I'm never going to forget that Donald Trump is the only president in my lifetime to start no new wars. Well, yeah, at least in the first term. And hey, that is a start. Trump's general anti-war sentiment, or at least anti-unnecessary wars, is a huge part of why he won. It was a gigantic appeal. He ran against the system, the endless wars of the military-industrial complex, the abuses of the American worker by empowering big business to go and, let's say, hire foreign people, you know, because, well, they're legal after all. These are all things Trump ran against back in 2016. And it's really, I have to give him some credit here. It's really shaped the mind of a future generation of Americans who want better for their people. Pivoting in another direction, it is really quite fascinating that despite being leftist, RFK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, and Bill Maher both have plenty of good things to say about Trump. And I can't speak for Cheryl, but Bill definitely doesn't like him. That much is obvious. And not only that, but they understand just how sinister the left is, despite basically still to this day claiming to be liberal. Look at this.
The Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning, even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat. They weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
I agree.
And it's
sad because it's not the Democrats we grew up with.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the difference that people don't, I think, see. They're like, why did you turn on the Democrats? Well, first of all, I didn't. Like I said, we voted for the same person. But I'm not going to pretend I don't notice how different they are.
Yeah.
How mean they've become.
Very mean.
Isn't that telling? When Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was running as a Democrat, in other words, he was a threat to Trump, arguably, because, you know, people were saying he'd draw more votes from Biden versus Trump. I don't know. I think it's Trump, but who cares? Whatever. That's kind of interesting. Republicans were still nice to her. Then as soon as they came and were able to go to the Trump administration to hopefully enact some of their goals in terms of health, they are villains. And that's despite basically still identifying as liberals. I know it's so cliche, so I hate that I'm even saying it, but you know, the tolerant left strikes again. Folks, with all that being said, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, if you haven't already, make sure you comment below. Let us know what you like about the video, what kind of stuff you'll see in the future, and hit that subscribe button. And that way, we'll see you again soon. God bless.